Something is shaping your decisions and you never noticed. It isn't luck, it's someone exploiting your blind patterns. How many choices today were never truly yours? Because the truth about manipulation isn't what you think. It starts where you didn't even finish your sentence before they spoke over you. You felt it, but dismissed it. Something shifted in that moment. Quietly, deliberately, their voice landed heavier. Yours faded without resistance, no argument, no conflict, just subtle erasure in real time. That wasn't interruption. It was placement. You have been accepting these moments and calling them normal. The hidden enemy is controlled perception. It shapes how others see you before you ever speak. By the time you talk, their decision is already made. Last week, you shared an idea in a meeting. No reaction, no acknowledgement, just silence. Minutes later, someone repeats it and gets approval. Most people chase attention and stay invisible. You are about to understand why. Visibility is decided early. This isn't confidence advice. This is strategic awareness. This is what operates before social rules even begin. You are not being ignored by accident. You are being positioned. The moment defines you before you can react. So the real question isn't why they ignore you. It's who decided they should. They're not ignoring. You dash their prejudging you. Messages stay unread longer than they should. Replies feel shorter, colder, less engaged. Your words land differently depending on who repeats them. Something is shaping reactions before you even appear. Your reputation is being written without your permission. You have been watching these patterns and calling them coincidence. Controlled perception doesn't start when you speak. It starts before you enter the room. Expectations get planted, then confirmed by your behavior. Last week, you sent a message with clear intent. No reply, no urgency, just silence lingering. Later, someone else says less and gets immediate attention. Everyone assumes influence is loud and visible, powerful voices, dominant presence, aggressive certainty. That's what you were trained to recognize as control, but real control is installed quietly. It exists inside other people's expectations of you. By the time you act, the frame is already fixed. People don't react to what you do, they react to what they expect from you. Most people fight for attention and stay predictable. You are about to understand how expectation controls outcomes. This is not self-improvement. This is pattern exposure. This is what decides your position before interaction begins. Your image is being edited in rooms you never enter. Conclusions are forming without your awareness. You are not responding freely. You are confirming what was already decided. You've been reacting, not deciding. So the real question is not what they think of you. It's why your mind never resists it. You're not being fooled or being understood too well. The pressure doesn't come from outside. Alone, it moves through your own thinking patterns. Doubt feels natural. Hesitation feels responsible. That's where control hides without resistance. Your predictability is their advantage. You have been protecting comfort and calling it judgment. The hidden enemy uses your cognitive blind spots. It feeds your need for approval and avoids conflict. It rewards you for staying agreeable and consistent. You were trained to assume fairness in every interaction. You give benefit of doubt even when patterns repeat. That makes your reactions easy to anticipate. Last week, someone dismissed your point quietly. You paused, adjusted tone, tried sounding more reasonable. They expected that and gained control instantly. Everyone around you trusts instinct as truth. You are about to understand instinct can be programmed. Your reactions are not spontaneous. They are shaped by expectations you accepted. That's why manipulation feels invisible. It aligns perfectly with what you already believe. This is not mindset. Advice. This is exposure. This is how your own thinking becomes their tool. You are not losing because you are weak. You are losing because you are readable. The moment they predict you, they control you. So what happens when your reactions stop matching their expectations? The moment you stop reacting, they lose control. Silence replaces explanations. They were waiting for calm replaces emotion. They expected to provoke. Your timing shifts, and their rhythm breaks instantly. Something feels off to them. But they can't name it. Unpredictability is the beginning of power. You have been responding on cue, and calling it authenticity. Controlled perception depends on your consistency. Break that pattern, and the structure starts collapsing. They lose the ability to predict your next move. Everyone plays inside expectations without noticing. You step outside them and force recalculation. You test it in small, controlled moments. A delayed reply instead of instant response. Steady eye contact without filling. The silence, a neutral face where agreement was expected. Last week, Someone challenged you publicly, you didn't defend, didn't explain, didn't react. The room shifted because they lost their script. Most people react and reinforce their position. You are about to understand how disruption resets perception. This is not confidence. This is controlled deviation. This is how influence begins without being seen. They hesitate because certainty disappears around you. Their confidence weakens when patterns break. Power doesn't come from force. It comes from uncertainty you create in others. The more unpredictable you become, the less controllable you are. Disruption isn't loud. It's precise. So what happens when you stop breaking patterns and start replacing them with something intentional? You don't reveal, you let them conclude. Silence is no longer absence. It becomes calculated presence. Engagement is no longer constant. It becomes selective access. Every response gains weight because it is no longer predictable. They begin searching for meaning inside your restraint. Control isn't what you say, it's what they believe. You have been over-explaining and calling it clarity. Controlled perception now shifts direction. You stop feeding information and start shaping interpretation. Ambiguity becomes a tool, not a weakness. Gaps appear, and others rush to fill them. Everyone wants to be understood completely. You begin controlling what is allowed to be understood. You test it in conversation without warning. A question is answered with partial clarity. A reaction is delayed just enough to create tension. Silence lingers, and they begin adjusting themselves. Last week, someone tried reading your intent. You gave less than expected and held eye contact. They spoke softer, slower, waiting for your signal. Most people reveal everything and lose control. You are about to understand how concealment creates influence. This is not communication. This is perception design. This is how power operates without visibility. They begin watching you more closely than before. Their behavior changes to match your uncertainty. You are no longer being interpreted freely. You are guiding how interpretation forms. When they cannot read you, they begin studying you. You're no longer being read. You're being studied. So what do you become when perception no longer controls you? You don't react anymore. You decide the frame. Every pause carries meaning. You now recognize. Every glance reveals intention you once ignored. Every reaction becomes data instead of emotion. Nothing feels random anymore. Only unobserved. They still think it's natural. It isn't. You have been drifting through interactions without seeing patterns. Controlled perception never disappeared. It stopped controlling you once you understood it. Now it moves through you, not against you. You read signals before they fully form. Everyone moves unconsciously through these moments. You move with intent inside the same system. Last week, someone tested your reaction again. You saw it before it completed. You chose silence, and they adjusted instantly. Most people chase clarity and lose leverage. You are about to understand. Ambiguity creates control. This is not awareness. This is elevation. This is where manipulation becomes structure. You no longer seek validation from others. You control how validation forms around you. Power exists in timing, not force. Power exists in perception, not explanation. You were never powerless. You were unaware of the system. Controlling outcomes. You don't escape manipulation. You operate above it. And once you see it, every interaction becomes something else.